Harding versus Ty Essler for the centre bounce. Start of the last quarter, Eagles kicking to the left with a breeze, a strengthening breeze. Boots going in from all directions, and the umpire has determined that there was a kick in danger, and the kick taken by Lambert, but he decides to go by hand, which he does. Out wide to Bannock. Bannock's kick up towards half forward. Can Richmond get something going here as LEYS was pulled off the ball? Out comes Clappe, goes delicately with the left foot to Harding. Harding in turn, a long kick in the rain down towards half forward, too far for McIntosh. He goes over the top and the ball is out of bounds. So a quick transference of play from half back to half forward. The Eagles leading 71-57 in what has been a very dour struggle here at Subiaco Oval. McIntosh got the knock. Comes out towards Kemp. Kemp forcing the ball to the boundary line, and once again it'll be thrown in as Tony Free escorts it across the line. Inside the Eagles' 50-metre line, West Coast need a couple of goals.
Well, it's quite difficult conditions for the players right now. The umpire has picked a free kick out of that, a player being held when he didn't have the football, and it'll go to Waters. Waters is about 55 metres from goal. And a disciplined kick here to the front of the square will be just what the Eagles need. It's right into the square, no mark taken. At the back, did he get his foot to it, Heady? No. It was over the line, so it's through for a rush behind to the West Coast side. West Coast.
That's not a good sign. Brett Heady flexing that left leg and holding his groin. Now, he's come through it well so far, but it'll be interesting to see whether there is a problem as Essler marks the kick into play.
Bannock kicks it across to the near side wing. Punched away. Crumbs gathered nicely by Lennon. Ball rebounds back to LEYS. Now Lambert in the centre of the ground. Has he got anyone to kick it to? He's forced to bomb away, but Menegola takes a good mark on his chest. Play on, says the umpire. Come on, Todd, wake up. And he's forced to go with the left foot up towards full forward. No mark taken there by Naish. Slips out of his grasp, and it goes over for a boundary throw in. And Bernie, what is your comment about that passage?
I'm just looking at Jeff Hogg throw his arms up in despair, because the obvious play there was a hand pass from Menegola after he'd taken the mark to Hogg on the run past. He provided the run, and it's disappointing when a player doesn't oblige and give the hand pass off.
Clappe went over the top with the thump towards the boundary line, and the Eagles move it about 10 metres further away from Richmond's goals. 57 plays 72. We're about 4 minutes into the last quarter as the rain comes down. Bremen got the tap down. This is Mainwaring taken high twice.
Yes, firstly by Lambert and then by Bremen. Well, that's indiscriminate tackling by the Tigers.
Here's the first one.
Not much in either one of them.
There's not a lot, but players realise when they can't apply the tackle, Robbo, that they just throw the arm out indiscriminately.
He got up and kicked the ball 45 metres.
Gee, you blokes are good.
You won't be happy till they're carried off.
LEYS gets the kick back into the forward line. Too far for McKenna. Defence required here from the Eagles as Clappe forces it towards the boundary line, and it'll be thrown in.
I'll tell you what I do know, Johnny. I've got to spend a lot more time in Melbourne than I do in Perth. You've got to be half smart with these umpiring decisions, don't you?
Dear. Okay, about 20 metres around from the Richmond goal. Thumped on by Bauer. This is a chance for Richmond, but gee, desperate defence that time from Brennan as he forced it through for one behind. But Richmond are certainly carrying the game right up to their more fancied opponents. And if the Eagles are to win, then they'll certainly know they've been in a game of footy.
Yes, well, it's only 14 points the difference, and funnier things have happened in footy. Just a few lucky breaks go the Tigers' way, and they're right in the action. The kick in goes towards half-back, taken by Campbell. Campbell gets it across to LEYS. Short pass is okay. Knights is marked at centre-half forward for the Tigers. He's going to kick it long. Drop punt kick goes to the front of the square. No mark taken.
Yes,
it is a mark. At the back, no. Bremen jumping high. The mark has been taken by Naish.
Yes, Bremen just putting the defenders off by jumping early. He didn't interfere with the West Coast Eagles full-back, Guy McKenna. And he did certainly throw their concentration out by jumping so early. A simple chest mark taken in the end in front of Hart by Chris Naish.
Well, if he kicks this, it's only 8 points the difference. And he's kicked it.
Back into this game, into the breeze. 72 plays 64, and the Tigers doing it well. Harding needs to get the ball out of the centre. An opportunity for them, though. Lambert is having something to say about that. The kick has been smothered. Kemp's hand pass was given out to Waterman, but there's been a whistle on play, and it looks like a free kick going the way of Herman. Herman's kick inside 50 metres. McKenna, straight into the middle of the back went Bremen, and that was silly play.
So many occasions, that's because he will not get in front. I wish he'd get in front and make a decent lead, and then he wouldn't be giving away these free kicks.
And he's going crook at the bloke who kicked the football.
Because Richmond were on a roll then, and they don't need to give away free kicks like that in the forward line. Strong mark to Ty Essler.
He's coming to the game more in this second half, Ty Essler.
To Lambert. Now to Scott. Richmond again mounting an attack into their forward line. Bremen in front this time and takes it.
Exactly.
Well called, Bernie.
Yes, we need to see him in front, and he won't be jumping indiscriminately into the back of Guy McKenna. That is a much better effort there from Todd Bremen, and a strong second grab also. Kept his eye on the ball right throughout that contest.
Well, he can kick this because he's in the shoulder of the stand, and if he does, 2 points the difference. There's the Bremen kick. Umpire getting behind it. It straightens up. We have a game. There's the scoreboard. 72 plays 70, 10-10, 10-12.
Yeah, says Craig Lambert, been in everything all day. He's had his body at the bottom of the pack, been prepared to put it in, as we see that kick coming from Scott Bremen, this time getting out in front of Guy McKenna, and a very strong second grab under intense pressure from the West Coast Eagles fullback.
Well, you'd hardly think the Eagles were playing to keep third spot, would you, the way they're going at the moment?
Funnier things have happened in football, Johnny. I think I saw was Collingwood beat the West Coast here with the last, well, fairly well the last kick of the day.
Was. There are no certainties in sport, are there?
No.
As we saw in the Olympic Games. What about the Bubka?
Well,
missing out on the pole vault.
I think with the salary cap and the draft, the teams are levelling up, and really it's just attitude on the day, and these conditions have been a little bit difficult, so that evens up the two sides on the day, and Richmond's attitude has been fantastic. We've spotted that right from the start. I think we knew that the spirit was there. Here's a chance now for the Eagles to break clear. It's Brennan, and he doesn't mess around. He goes long, but a good mark taken back there by Lennon. That was an excellent mark. The ball came down very, very quickly. His kick goes out towards half back, and good mark, equally as good a mark taken by Kemp. He bangs it back in towards full forward. Marking contest. Punched away, chance for Turley. Turley can't get his foot to the ball. Lennon is there, throws himself on the footy. Bannock, kick off the ground by Head, he's a goal.
The rain continues to come down. Harding to Waters. Waters was going to go with a hand pass, but uses the left foot in towards Heady, knocked away from him in defence. And that was good defensive play that time by Tony Free.
Conditions very unpleasant, John, aren't they? Very difficult to play good football in these conditions.
With the wind and the rain, Bernie, yes. Yes, indeed. Just outside the Eagles' 50-metre line, an 8-point break to the home side. And they need to win this game to consolidate third spot. Pike can't pick the ball up. Out comes Knights. This is Lambert, good play. Lambert into the centre, looking for Campbell. Campbell versus Matera. Let's see the speed. Campbell did that well to get his more fancied opponent out of the road as Richmond bring the ball up towards left centre wing. The 2-16s, Jackson and Hepburn, but it's going to be Richmond who work the ball into their forward line. The kick not a particularly good one. They still have the opportunity. This is Menengola. His kick has been smothered. Out the back it goes. Jackson gets around his opponent, chips it in towards full forward. This is Bremen, an opportunity for him. He gives a hand pass away to Menengola, and Menengola, casual as you like, finds a teammate in Campbell. Campbell can't kick a goal from there, so he goes into Todd Bremen, who marks.
Bremen can kick it, can't he?
He sure can from there.
He's kicked forward, John.
Well, Todd Bremen will kick from almost on the 50-metre line as the rain buckets down, and he can do the distance. Can close his side to within 2 points. There's his kick. Looks okay. It's a goal.
Well, play recommenced. Richmond, to be a fantastic victory for the Tigers. If they could happen to get up here at Subiaco. They're really working hard to try and gather that football. It's an awkward one. Very much a rugby scrum there. 6 or 10 players, and eventually the umpire forced to throw it in the air once again. Very difficult to bounce it, and the players getting close to the action. Punched away. Chance now for Richmond through Knights. Knights' kick goes up towards half forward. It's picked off there by Hogg. Hogg's little kick up towards the 50-metre line. The bounce of the ball is going to be important here. Hart and Naish make it difficult, Chris Naish. Lambert does. Tries to get into the action. Bumped off the football by Mainwaring. And a kick off the ground finds the safety of the boundary line. Now, Mick Malthouse, he'd have a few concerns, I would think, now, halfway through the last quarter.
Absolutely.
And his side clinging to a 2-point advantage.
Hepburn thumps the ball away. The hand pass to Matera. What can he do as he bursts out of defence? Look at that torpedo punt kick. It's a long one as Hetty takes the ball to Kemp. Kemp chips it in looking for Djakovic, who marks. Oh, he nearly went. He nearly went.
He certainly did. He took that first step, didn't he, John?
Yes.
He was off, but great to see Matera. Well, he got the ball at half back there, dashed away, and then that long torpedo into the forward line.
Well, the breeze is right over Djakovic's shoulder. He kicked a longer goal than this in the third quarter. And to say that the Eagles need this as a steadier would be an understatement. He'll kick from about 35 metres out. It's the Djakovic kick. Not sure. Don't like the crowd reaction. He's missed. 3 points the margin. We're some 14 minutes into the final quarter, and this has been an outstanding effort from Richmond. Nobody gave them a prayer of beating the Eagles at Subiaco Oval, and they have certainly taken the game right up to the West Coast.
And just to go back to round 6, the Tigers kicked 14-12 and the West Coast kicked 14-13. West Coast winning that game by a point. This looks as though it's going to be pretty close too. There's a chance for Scott. Well, that was a little bit of Larry stuff there from Scott. Kemp, Waters gets his left foot to it. Oh, Marcus taken by Djakovic. He'll run into an open goal and kick a goal. So Sumic has kicked 4. Brett Hetty has kicked 3. Leading goal scorer for Richmond is Bremen. And it's Brennan for the West Coast. Kicks it into the right forward pocket. Lennon, the player there for the Tigers, boundary throw in about 20 metres around from the West Coast goal.
Hasn't Harding done a wonderful job for the West Coast?
Yeah, she's been terrific today, Harding. I think Esler's battled away, but Harding has been more accomplished.
As the ball's thumped towards the boundary line by Lennon, Richmond desperate to try and work the ball out of their defensive area. That's the man we were talking about. A young bloke with an enormous amount of potential and future. His sheer size alone, Bernie, would guarantee him 3/4 of the games in the season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, sure is a big boy, 203 centimetres and 104 kilos, Ty Esler.
Ball inside the Eagles' 50-metre line. Djakovic
dropped it.
He let that go.
Oh, that is a shocking decision.
I've seen all year.
Come on, that is kid stuff from that umpire.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Was he controlling the ball?
Oh, he had it. He had it.
Yes.
Unless the umpire ruled that the ball was knocked out of his hand, but I don't think it was. I think he let it go.
Well, there's no think about it. It was just so obvious.
Okay. I agree.
The vagaries of umpiring decisions sees Djakovic with a chance to kick another goal for the Eagles. He's already got 2. He'll kick this one from almost exactly the same position that he missed the last one, and he missed that one as well. And the mark has been claimed and taken by Lennon. Gave it off to Lambert. And that wasn't good play. Yeah, a little inexperience, I think, on the part of the Richmond defence sees the ball end up with Hetty, although Lambert should have known better.
Oh, maybe that's why he handballs on so many occasions, John, because that kick off the boot was very ordinary there from Craig Lambert. But the Tigers, at least they've tried to set something up. I know we can knock them on that occasion for a very poor kick out of defence.
They've played an excellent game of football today, regardless of the result.
Yes, that's for sure.
And it's good for the competition and necessary for the competition that they do. 76 plays 85. Brett Hetty's kicked 3. 48 metres out. The Hetty kick looks okay. He's got 4.
It's all the great.
Now that goal from Brett Hetty giving the Eagles a 15-point advantage. The kick by Kemp up towards full forward. It's helped on its way through for a behind to the West Coast.
We're really kicking with the tide now, Robbo, as we just saw an umbrella sail past. Went past the commentary box at about 100 miles an hour.
Kick in by Scott. Goes to the far side. Marcus taken by Free. Well done in front of Heady. 11 minutes left, so Richmond, as I said, they've got the job in front of them, but nothing's impossible. That could have been paid. Yes, it has, to MENEGOLA. He's behind the wing. The Tigers looking for the advantage, but MENEGOLA will have to go back and take his kick. He's between the half-back flank and centre wing. The kick is all right. It's been marked by LEYS. His kick, well, it was an ordinary one, but it's been marked by Bauer. Bauer into centre half forward, and it's chopped off too easily by Hepburn. He clears. Long kick to a vacant wing area. Leading in the race for the ball was Turner, but the bounce was fickle. Djakovic, who has grown in stature in the second half. The pass is magnificent. The lead was good. Nothing wrong with Scott. He was right on Sumic's tail, but the mark taken by Sumic about 45 to 40 metres about from goal.
Yes, Djakovic has been magnificent in the second half, playing at centre half forward. He's certainly turned the game around for the Eagles. And Peter Sumic has been pretty good at full forward, coming in for goal number 5.
Well, we think he'd probably get the distance, and if he kicks this, it'll probably put it out of reach of the Tigers. 13-14 to 11-10 at the moment. The difference 16 points. He could extend that to 22. Sumic sets it up. Breeze brings it back. It's a goal. 5 goals to Peter Sumic. 4 goals to Heady. 2 goals to Djakovic. And for Richmond, Todd Bremen has kicked 5.
Here's the play again. Hepburn from half back. A long kick across the round of the wing area, favoured by the bounce there, Djakovic. He read it beautifully. He's taken some strong marks, and a very good pass there from the big player to Sumic on the lead. And Sumic has now kicked 299 career goals.
Just over 9.5 minutes remaining in this rain-soaked game at Subiaco Oval this afternoon. Harding and Essler, no clear tap. It's in the centre. Pike tried to go off the ground. Harding scrambles it towards full forward. Matera. Maybe he can really pick the ball up, and finally Matera does and kicks it down towards half forward. And a strong mark in defence by Free. He's played well for Richmond. Free gets the hand pass away. Richmond worked the ball up towards the wing, and a strong mark taken by Campbell. Read it well. Didn't fly, waited down as he centres the ball to LEYS. LEYS gets around his opponent. Long kick to the 50-metre line. Defence required here. MENEGOLA did it well to Herman. Herman chips it in short. This is Hogg. Hogg from 55 metres out, but the wet ball slips off the side. Or is that a push? No, it wasn't. Knights kept the ball in play brilliantly. Still Richmond won't be denied, and that's excellent play as the ball is marked by Jackson.
Yes, Matthew Knights did very well to keep that ball in play, and then Naish, good vision there to get that that pass off. He was under enormous pressure. And Stephen Jackson taking the mark. Will be kicking from about 30 metres.
Well, Richmond can take an enormous amount of heart from this game today. They came here as clearly as underdogs, and they're taking a fight right up to the Eagles.
How about the footy fans who stay here and watch a game in conditions like this?
They love it. It's fantastic. There's the Jackson kick. Looks okay. Goal to Richmond. 14-14, 98 to 12-10, 82.
And Stephen Jackson's first goal, as we see this in replay. Almost a push in the back there to Bremen. Matthew Knights just getting that hand pass away. Terrific to keep it in there, and Chris Naish, who's been pretty busy. He's copped a couple of heavy knocks to the head this afternoon here at Subiaco. Good vision to get that pass off to Stephen Jackson.
I still wouldn't give them up. We've got 8 minutes left. Only trailed by, what, 16 points, so they need 3 goals, but they've got to keep the Eagles goalless. Essler, Matera overruns it. So too did Hogg. Still there to be won. Matera eventually clears it, and it'll bounce right up near the 50-metre line. It'll go close to the boundary line and eventually goes over for a boundary throw-in. Tony Free, whose statistics will show that he's played quite well, but Brett Heady has kicked 4 goals. It's been quite difficult down there. Heady is a very difficult man to contain, isn't he, John?
Yep. That's the curse of being a backman. You can have the most outstanding statistics. If your opponents kick 4 or 5 goals, you're in trouble.
Harding's kick slews off the side of his boot. Here's Heady again. Free close to him. Handball goes away to Waterman. Waterman's little kick is okay, and he finds Worsfold in the right forward pocket. Now, he could nearly score from there, I would think. The breeze is perhaps blowing at his back. Yeah, very quiet day for the captain. But he's lining up for the Eagles' 15th goal. It's not a bad kick. It could be home. It is. So John Worsfold kicks his first goal. The Eagles kick their 15th. They lead 15-14 to 12-10.
Yes, and that probably is the sealer for the West Coast Eagles. It's going to be very difficult for the Tigers to get back from here. Worsfold started off on the back line, has spent a fair bit of time playing in that forward pocket, but an excellent kick off the boot. The greasy ball, the wind and the rain, he set it up, and he's pretty happy with that one.
Just over 6.5 minutes to go, 82 plays, 104. Bounce will favour Harding. Doesn't really do well with the knock as Herman kicks the ball to the 50-metre line for Richmond. Defence required here. Gee, I thought Nash may have been held there. McKenna barges his way through his court. Hogg leaves it. Lambert got the hand pass away. Great smother from Campbell's kick. That was so well done from Matt Clappe then.
It certainly was, John.
That could have been anything then from Richmond. And Clappe managed to force the ball over the line. It's inside Richmond's attacking 50-metre line. He can get a goal from here. Knights can't pick it up. Jackson caught. Hepburn clears. The kick slews off the side of the boot and has crossed the line on the full. So we're into time on in the final quarter. And it will be Richmond's Brian Leys to take the kick just forward of right centre wing. Puts the ball up high. Jackson is the target. Knocked away from him by Waterman. Mainwaring versus Bauer. Neither of them end up with it. Gee, that tackle was left on for a long time. And Maxfield will get the resultant free kick. He's between centre and centre half forward. Lovely kick into the breeze. Bremen in front, knocked away from him. Guy McKenna is on the bottom of that somewhere. As over the top came Brennan and Lambert. And we'll see it bounce down about 20 metres out from Richmond's goal.
West Coast 15-14, Richmond 12-10. Difference 22 points. Richmond a chance to score here. Mainwaring just goes straight up in the air. Big punch away by Brennan, gathered by Maxfield. Kicks it high into the pocket. Bremen over the top, touches it before it goes over. So we'll have a boundary throw in. Todd Bremen with a cut above his left eye. And the throw in will take place in the left forward pocket for the Tigers. Well, it's been much better from Richmond this week. Their supporters were very, very disappointed last Sunday at the MCG.
I wonder if that bloke who tore his ticket up will go and see if he can find the bits again.
Struggle here for possession. Brennan, little kick. Matera, close to the boundary line, it goes over, so we'll have another throw in.
He's a good player, Matera. The way he works from back to forward.
Well, actually, he's had an interesting battle with Campbell. I thought Campbell had played well for the Tigers. He's had probably would have had 20 possessions, Wayne Campbell. Still, West Coast trying to get it out of their back line. Kemp gathers it. It's very, very difficult at the left half back for West Coast. A few pats on the back. Leys for Matera.
28 possessions, Campbell, Robbo. So it's been a good tussle, that one on the wing, Matera and Campbell.
Just outside Richmond's 50-metre line. Hepburn goes towards the boundary line. Jackson keeps it in. Matera thumps it. Jackson, Bremen, close, and Bremen carries it out. So the conditions obviously causing problems for the players. And we're going to see in the dying minutes of this game plenty of packs form and I guess plenty of whistles blown. Throw in about 60 metres out. Hepburn in front. Jackson shovels it out. That was good play. This is Knights. Right foot kick, not quite what he wanted. Hogg tried to charge through. Hepburn's caught. Jackson put the tackle on. McKenna goes back. Jackson off the ground, and she'll be thrown in right full forward pocket.
But what about if Jackson showed that sort of strength and spirit right from the start of the game at centre half forward? Wouldn't he be great for the younger fellas to follow?
The sad thing about it is that he'll probably go through his whole footy career never realising his full potential.
I tell you what, if I mean, you don't get many very good tall players, and he's got quite an amount of ability. It doesn't seem to show that real physical strength. 15-14 West Coast, Richmond 12-10. We're down underneath 3 minutes now, so the West Coast should hang on and win. And their quest for one of the positions in the 6, they need to finish first, third or fourth to host a final here in Perth. And at the moment, they'll be lying third as a result of Collingwood being defeated yesterday.
It's a nice...
And, by gee, they've got some advantages in this draw too, John. Played 2 more, I think it's 2 more games or 3 more games at home.
4 out of their last 5 were at home, but that was good play that time from Knights.
Yes, they've got Fitzroy here again next Friday night.
Next Friday night, yep.
Then they play Footscray at Footscray and Carlton at over here in the last game.
Carlton at home for the last game. So this is Brian Leys, who'll kick from 50 metres. Angle certainly won't bother him. A wet, heavy ball into the breeze. What can he do with it? A high kick from Leys. He's dragged it, trying to get that extra bit of distance into it, and it's off hands, and it'll be thrown in left full forward pocket as the clock counts down. 1 minute and 53 remaining in this game.
Wish someone would get those trumpets and throw them 28 kilometres into the Swan River.
If only they had them in different notes.
Oh, my golly. Whoever invented trumpets at sporting functions is absolute rat baggish. 15-14 to 12-10. 1 minute and a half left in the game. Boundary throw in. Hepburn gets the punch at it. Knights is caught, but he gets the hand pass away. Certainly wasn't all that effective. The kick goes back towards half-back. Harding tries to kick it off the ground. Here's Essler. Goes to Bremen. Bremen with skill, gets past. His shot for goal is high, but just offline and through for a behind to the Tigers. So Todd Bremen, his personal tally, well, fairly impressive. 5 goals, 4 in that scoreline of Richmond, 12-11, but they trail the West Coast to a 15-14.
As the kick into play, I was going to say has been marked by Don Pike, but it hasn't. And he's normally a very sure mark of the ball, Bernie, so that gives you an idea of just how slippery it is out there.
Looks like a cake of soap at the moment, the ball. It just slithered away from him.
Well, the West Coast are going to win this game, but Richmond fans can take a great deal of heart from the way their side has fought it out. Right to the bitter end. Clappe thumps it away. Hogg, left foot shot at goal. And the umpire indicates that that, in fact, has gone out on the full.
It's amazing, John. You can get close, but if you don't win the games, it really, I mean, it would have been a terrific trip home for them if they'd have won the game. But when you don't get the 4 points, it's still another loss on the scoreboard, and the Tigers languishing down near the bottom of the ladder. They've only won 4 games for the year, and it's been a long time between drinks for the young Richmond side.
I came home with the Eagles after the St Kilda game, and I also came home with them after the Geelong game, and I can tell you there was a lot of difference on the aircraft. As Jackson hooks that one back, right almost to the edge of the square. Hart gets his body into there, and discretion the better part of valour as it's been socked across the line for a point. It was good play by Brennan. So we've got 9 seconds remaining in this game. It will be an Eagles victory.
Brennan to just go through the formalities. Kick the ball back into play. 15-14, 12-12. And he goes to the far side. The marking contest out there. Hepburn bashes it on. Mainwaring is a chance. At least he'll get another possession. The seconds ticking away. There's the siren as Chris Mainwaring does add to his individual statistics there. Good spirit. All players shaking hands as the West Coast win this game here at Subiaco this afternoon. And a spirited performance by the Tigers, but the West Coast 15-14, 104, and they defeated Richmond 12-12. 84. Peter Sumich, who was the leading goal scorer for the West Coast, kicking 5. Todd Bremen kicked 5 for Richmond. Brett Hetty kicked 4 for West Coast. And there's a lot of really good spirit. Stephen Jackson there with Peter Sumich. Scott Waters in the foreground.
Well, they all played for South Fremantle, those 3.
He's got a cut above the eye there too, Stephen Jackson.
So 4 South Fremantle boys all together. In fact, if you look at those 5 players, they're all from the Fremantle area.
Well, it's terrific to see that, isn't it?
Yes.
They played the game hard and they played it well. There was none of that sort of stuff during the game, but after the game's over, it's good to see the players just having a bit of a chat and a laugh. And there's Peter Matera, he played a terrific game as well. A great battle with Wayne Campbell on the wing. Johnny Worsfold coming in. They're all pretty friendly with Stephen Jackson anyway there. John, good to see it.
Yes, it is. It is. I agree with that. And there's an enormous amount of tradition down at Fremantle, and that was all of the South Fremantle and East Fremantle players that have been drafted into the Eagles all getting together. And as you said, Bernie, beaut to see.
So the West Coast win the game here at Subiaco in the finish by 20 points, but it was no walkover. They had a real good contest on their hands from the young Richmond side. West Coast 15-14, 104, defeated the Tigers 12-12, 84.